First, they let you drive off and then jack up your loan? The spot delivery scam exposed. Hey everyone, Kevin Hunter here, the homework guy. Today we're exposing a slimy little trick dealers love to pull on some buyers. It's one of the most emotionally manipulative scams in the business, and it all starts when the dealer lets you drive off with the car before your financing is actually approved. The amazing Elizabeth joins me now as we break this all down.
This spot delivery scam that Kevin is talking about recently happened with one of our viewers, Natalia, and Kevin helped her fight back and win. She will be joining Kevin for an interview in a moment in this show. She found our legal violation checkup service on our website. It cost just $149, but worth every cent, as Natalia will tell you herself. She bought the service with Kevin, hoping he could help her, and he did exactly that. Together, they got the problem fixed. Before we bring Natalia on, let's explain what this is first, Kevin.
It's called the spot delivery scam, and it's one of the dirtiest financial traps in the industry. The move is entirely illegal. Here's how it works and how you can avoid becoming their next victim. Number one, what is a spot delivery agreement? Also known as a conditional delivery or yo-yo financing scam, the spot delivery agreement allows you to take the car home right away even if the financing isn't 100% finalized. The dealer hands you the keys, makes you feel like it's a done deal, and then a few days later you get that unwanted phone call. Sorry, your loan didn't go through. You need to come back and sign a new contract, but this time with a higher interest rate, often with a higher interest rate. At that point, you're emotionally locked into the car, already having showed it off to your family and friends, maybe even removed your trade-in from the equation, and the dealer knows it.
Number two, why dealers use this trick. This scam is very calculated, and here's why they do it. First is psychological leverage. They know you're less likely to walk away once the car is in your driveway. They do it for bigger profits. They use the delay to push worse loan terms, higher interest rates, and add-ons on you. And then there's pressure tactics. If you resist the new terms, they threaten to repo the car and keep your down payment.
Make no mistake, this isn't a misunderstanding on the dealership's part. It's a game, and they're playing to win, and most often they do win because most car buyers don't know their rights.
Now let's bring up that interview with Kevin and Natalia, and you can see firsthand how we can help you too.
All right, I have Natalia on the line. And Natalia, on May 23rd, you purchased a 2025 Nissan Rogue SL and signed a financing contract with the dealership. You actually took delivery of the vehicle that day, right?
Yes.
What happened 4 days later?
So the finance manager called me saying that there was an issue with my contract. So they asked me to return to the dealership to sign a new one. I got a better APR, but my monthly payment increased by about 40 to 45 per month. And he didn't give me a clear explanation or information on what was going on with my first contract. So I just went ahead and signed the second contract.
All right. And then this happened again on June 17th. They sent you a third contract. And what was their excuse why they had to sign it again?
So they were saying that it was an issue with a tax adjustment. Then the next day they told me it was an issue with e-signature. So it wasn't very clear what was going on when they called me back on June 17th for the third contract.
So when you got this call to come back on June 17th and sign another contract, what was your first response to all of that? What action did you decide to take from there?
At that time, things for me doesn't make sense. There was something that was not right. I got the extended warranty on the first contract, and I asked them to remove it because it was a new contract.
Right.
So they told me that they were not able to remove it from the contract, saying things like, somebody's messing my mind. Didn't want it to remove it, but I knew that it's legal to remove it because it was a new contract.
Right.
He was saying the account was active and they were waiting for the funding. But the next day, on the 20, I called the financial company, and they told me that there was not any account under my name. So I explained all the situation, and they transferred me to the consumer affair, and I opened a case to the dealership because they were not clear with me and they were not providing me any updates about my contracts.
So somewhere in this process, you decided to get a hold of us here at the Homework Guy team, and you purchased our legal violations review that we do on our website. How did that experience work out for you?
Yes, I started to look on the internet, like look for information, and then I found one of your videos on YouTube. I went to the link on your profile, and, I started looking at the page, and I found the legal analysis. So I contacted your team, and, the experience was amazing. You solved all my questions, and you let me know, this is your right, and, they are not doing the things in the right way.
Awesome. And then there was a key word that you used in there when you made reference to us, and that was the word representative. What kind of reaction did they have to you when you said that you've consulted with your representative?
Yes, so after I told them that I have a representative, they were like, okay, we're going to remove the extended warranty from your contract, right away.
So put a little scare into them. Now, you had contact with Nissan Consumer Affairs and directly with Nissan about this claim that your first contract supposedly had to be physically returned when, in fact, there was no contract there with Nissan at all.
Yes, so they were saying that they have to send the contract physical because there was an issue. So he told me, we're going to request the physical contract to be returned, and then you're going to have a new contract. But I called Nissan Finance, and they told me that they do not have, any information about me. No account. He was lying on my face.
So when they told you to come back and re-sign a contract for June 17th, this was your opportunity to get a bunch of things removed from the car contract that you hadn't wanted in the first place. And the dealer didn't take that into consideration that you would make that move at this point. But with a little guidance from us, that's exactly what you did. And you mentioned to me that you had a pretty big monthly savings in your monthly payment. How much did your monthly payment actually go down?
It goes down $78.
$78. Wow.
Yes. And they were able to remove the extended warranty. It was a good deal. After all these issues, they did a new contract without the extended warranty. So basically the fourth contract. And I got a good deal. My monthly payment dropped $78.
That's awesome. So what advice would you have for anybody else in our viewing audience who could have a similar kind of situation like this happen to them or have a bad experience at a car dealership?
So this experience told me that whenever you're buying a car or being asked to sign a new contract, don't let yourself be pressured. Seek help, ask questions, and do your research. There is a lot of valuable information online. And honestly, the support that Kevin and his team provide, was incredible. Whenever you're purchasing a car or, facing a situation like mine, whenever you ask to resign, don't hesitate for a second to reach out. If you're not giving clear information or, feel that the dealership isn't being honest, seek for help.
Well, I'll tell you what, Natalia, it was a pleasure working with you through this whole process, and kudos to you for standing your ground when you went back armed with this new information, when you went back to the dealership and forced them to do exactly what you were asking for. Job well done.
Yes, thank you so much for all your time and all your help.
All right, and thank you for being willing to come on our show and share your experience with our listening audience, too.
Of course. Thank you so much.
That was a great interview, Kevin. Thank you, Natalia, for joining us. Number 3, here's why you should refuse spot delivery every time. Never take a car home until your financing is 100% finalized. If the loan hasn't been fully approved and funded by the bank, walk away until it is. Spot delivery turns into yo-yo financing. The dealer keeps pulling you back in each time with worse terms until you break. This trap has cost buyers thousands in interest, surprise add-ons, and completely unnecessary fees. Some people even get repoed after making their first payment.
Number 4, some pro tips from the Homework Guy Show. Ask, has the financing been funded and approved? If they hesitate even a moment, don't sign. If you're paying with your own bank or credit union, complete the deal through them, not the dealer. If the dealer says you can take the car home for the weekend, say no unless you have a full written approval in your hand.
Remember, if they call you back and say the loan fell through, you are not obligated to accept worse terms. You can return the car and demand your down payment back, even if they try to say otherwise.
And number 5, always know your rights. If you aren't sure what your rights are, drop by our website and buy our legal violations checkup like Natalia did, and we will help you pave a pathway to a successful resolution. You should know that most states do not require you to accept new loan terms if the original financing fell through. In fact, if the car isn't funded, the deal technically isn't finalized.
Right.
And you can return the car and walk away. If they keep your trade-in or down payment, that could be fraud or even theft. In most cases, you have the right to involve your state's Attorney General or Consumer Protection Agency.
Here are some final thoughts on the spot delivery scam. Here's what you should remember. Never take delivery unless financing is final. Don't let emotion push you into a bad deal. If they call you back with worse terms, you can return the car and just walk away. And as always, if this kind of game makes your blood boil or you don't want to deal with it at all, let our Homework Guy car coaches handle it for you. We shut this stuff down before you ever walk into the dealership. The details are on our website, thehomeworkguy.com.
Have you or someone you know been a victim of this scam? Share your story in the comment section down below. You'll help somebody else avoid it.
That's
and
right.
Thanks to Natalia for sharing her story here, too. Friends, to avoid this kind of nonsense entirely, consider using our hassle-free car buying service. Let me share some details off our website to highlight the benefits. It's on thehomeworkguy.com. The website says, where we do all the work so you don't have to. Bottom line, even if you only had $1,000 cash to work with, it would be much smarter to hire us and have us turn that $1,000 in your pocket into thousands more in actual purchase power. Our service is essentially a purchasing multiplier. Hundreds of people who have hired us testify to that fact. Turn $1,000 into thousands more in real car buying power. That's what we do. With our 16 years of industry experience and negotiation mastery, our team transforms your cash or approved financing into the best possible vehicle deal, new or used, anywhere in the U.S. Whether you're buying, trading in, or returning a lease, we handle everything. You won't just save money, you'll skip the stress, the shady dealer tactics, and the time suck. We do all the work, and you get to drive away with a deal dealers hoped that you would never find. If this video helped you, give us a like, hit subscribe, and send this to a friend who's about to shop for a car. They could use this information too. I'm Kevin Hunter, the Homework Guy. Until next time, stay alert, stay smart, and don't ever sign your wallet away. For your convenience, we'll scroll through some of our recent happy customers from our hassle-free car buying service. Thanks for watching.